Hello, so now we're going to be talking about the Flowboard app, and this is an app on your iPad that you can download from the App Store and use instead of using Google Presentation. Again, you only have to choose one and follow the steps here after you watch my screencast to create your own note cards. This is for your specific topic, so make sure that you have your topic in mind first before you try to research your topic. And again, this is a formal research paper, so you are trying to find as many good sources as you can possibly find to back up your specific opinion. So if you think that the drinking age should not be lowered, then find those specific sites online that back up that same opinion. So again, following this assignment sheet that is on the main page of your Moodle, we're now going to be looking at Flowboard, and some of the same information from Google still applies. It's just a different venue. So all of the stuff about researching and what to include on your first card, as you can see here, you're going to have the same information. Now, what I'm about to show you looks a little bit different than what you're going to be seeing because I have already had Flowboard and signed into it. So if you follow these steps 1 through 10, it tells you exactly what to do and what to click on to get to the point that I'm about to show you. So in my iPad, the Flowboard app looks like this with the white background and the blue F. So once you download it and go into it, yours, like I said, is going to look just a little bit different because this will be the first time that you're signing in. However, you're going to have this eventually where you have Create Flowboard, so you're going to click on it and you can do the same thing as you could on Google Presentation and click a different template. Okay? However, I do already have one started. This one you're not going to be able to share with me through Google. However, it does have a share button down at the bottom that you can click, and then it'll ask you how you want to share it. So if you want to copy this into a Google, you can. Otherwise, you can just click the orange email button when you are finished and email it to my melanie.bocano@gmail.com. But what I want to show you is that this is basically set up the same way as Google Presentation. So I have set up my very first card using a different topic, looking at Jack Kevorkian. And the sample paper that you're going to be looking at that Anne-Marie Campo completed last year has the same topic, and so that's why I went with that. So it lists the general topic, which is Jack Kevorkian, the subtopic, or what I'm listing is your question: how is Jack Kevorkian a victim of things are not what they seem? Your arguable statement is Jack Kevorkian was a victim of being blamed for something that was not what it seemed. And then you're going to include number 4, which is what you're actually going to be researching in Google. And then again, I have the correct heading on here as well, only you'll need your name above this as well. So it'll have your name, my name, the class, and the date written military or MLA style. And then I go on to the same thing that I had in Google, and you can double tap to write, you can add things in, you can copy and paste, etc. So the first source that I found, and this is where you go onto the internet, it's going to take you a little bit of time to find all 4 sources that you want to use. You're going to have to spend some time reading a bunch of different articles and finding things that will actually be helpful to you in your essay. Now, even though I'm doing Jack Kevorkian isn't what he seems, I'm not going to type that actual phrase into Google. I'm going to be looking at 4 different facts or different articles about his life and about what he did, and testimonials from different patients that he helped and things like that. Then when I go to write my essay, that's where I'm going to craft my essay based off of which one of the 4 categories I chose. And that's how I'm going to be writing about the information and portraying the information that he's not actually what he seems. Okay? So after I've done some research and I've looked through some things and I've written down some different websites, as you go through, you may start off with 8 different sources you think might be good sources. As you go through and start reading them, you're going to whittle them down until you find the ones that you like. But it's always a good idea to create these source cards so that you don't have to spend all of that time re-researching. You can kind of work as you go. So again, this information here is from EasyBib. I just copied and pasted my URL into EasyBib and then put it on here. Again, you'll notice I'm missing that URL, but you want to include that URL. And then a very quick note about what is in that source. Discusses portions of his life and how he was an advocate for those dying. Okay? So finish with that card. Then you go on to the next card. Okay? This is what I want to do where I actually start writing my notes. So that's where I will have, this is from source 1. And these are maybe facts about his life, okay? And again, you can delete things, you can do whatever. See, if I didn't want this here, I could delete it and get rid of it. I could add different media, whatever I want. You can manipulate this for whatever you need. So again, this is information that you find that you think would be useful to you in your essay. And again, from that source 1. So as I read this source, I may say, okay, there are 10 pieces of information in here I like. You're going to have 10 different fact cards. 1 or 2 facts per card. And on that sheet that I've given you to look at, there's a QR code that you can scan and go look at a sample set of note cards so that you can look at something that is completed and know what it is that it looks like. I'm also going to be including just a simple printout of a completed source card and a completed note card labeled with what you should have on each. So then again, you can continue with this, and every time you want to add a screen, you just add a screen. You can change the backgrounds and color code just like you could in Google. Just play around with it a little bit. What is also very neat is this arrange button. So just like in Google Presentation, where you could kind of arrange things for when you go to write your essay, you can manipulate these as well and move them around to whatever order you would like them in. So that's a very cool feature of Flowboard as well. Again, make sure that you share this with yourself every now and then so that you have a copy of it, because it does not save automatically like Google does. And it's a good idea to have it, and then you can just email it to me when you are finished and not stick that in your Google Drive. Again, you need to remember that these are things that you might be using in your paper, and you need those 20 fact cards and 4 sources. So the 20 fact cards that you need, and again, that's a minimum, are going to be not necessarily broken up by source. Like, you might not have 5 specific facts from each source. You might have 10 facts from source 1, 2 from source 2, 7 from source 3, whatever it is that you think you need, so that you have 20 at the minimum to write your formal research paper, so that you can use that to back up your research, just as Anne-Marie did in her Jack Kevorkian paper. She didn't dominate her paper with different quotes and facts and statistics. She used those pieces of information to bolster or strengthen her own argument and embedded them into her own writing, so that it was a lot easier for her to have a seamless paper, and she didn't just drop quotes in and run. Okay, so that's why doing all of this stuff and completing all of these research elements are important to the overall structure of your essay, and it's a lot easier to do these as a process instead of just sit down and write the essay. If you have any questions, please email me at melanie.bocano@gmail.com, or stop in and see me, and I will gladly walk you through any of the questions that you may have.